Okay, so hello everybody. There's Jicha Hao. Well, my name is William, but now before I can talk about this, I did misspell the word Mayan as Mayan, yeah. I want to know the difference between the two. Okay, so Mayan versus Mayan. The Maya refers to people's observation of our Mayan is used to describe a Maya. The term Mayan is incorrectly related to civilization. I know, but I want talking about. Oh, Mayans are okay. I thought there's a. Oh yeah, there's a. Oh yeah, I thought there's a volcano in the Philippines called Mayon. Yeah, it's a stratovolcano. I guess that's the difference between the two. That's why. There it is, Mayon. Mayon is named. It could be used as Krishna in Tamil or a volcano in the Philippines. That's what Mayon is. Well, the Mayan calendar. Well, Mayan is the Mayan culture or the Mayan calendars, what I talked about last time anyway. Okay. Now I already talked about this, but you see. So here's for Taiwan. Whether Taiwan's better country than the United States, such as the individual parties, Taiwan's high quality available of safe environment, while it builds diverse cultural opportunities and economy, and each of its own advantages. So comparison for here's one for the United States first. So pros: diverse costs is the U.S. is a culture's range of opportunities in economy. The U.S. is a diverse economy, news, job opportunities, and industries. Personal freedom. The U.S. is known as strong emphasis on personal freedom and human rights. Natural resources. Resources, resources, clean oil, natural gas, and coal. Global influence. The U.S. is a significant global influence, strong presence, national affairs. That's what Google says anyway. Now the cons is this high cost of living. High cost of living because it can be very high, especially in major cities. Healthcare system, the U.S. healthcare system is a complex and expensive, with many people struggling to afford healthcare. And gun violence is the U.S. high-rate gun violence and the concern of residents. And social security is inequality is the U.S. is a indicator of social inequality with a gap between rich and poor. Polar polarization is U.S. politically polarized and strong divisions between different groups. Yeah, that's what U.S. That's for the United States. Now, for Taiwan, here it is. High quality of life. The Taiwan is a ranks of high quality of surveys and focuses on high care and convenience. Affordable living. A cost of affordable living in Taiwan generally lower in the U.S., especially areas housing and transportation. Excellent healthcare. Taiwan has a healthcare system offering accessible, affordable medical care. Yeah, safe environment. Taiwan is known as a low crime and safe environment, making comfortable place to live and vibrant culture. Taiwan has a rich, diverse culture, its traditional modern influence, and transportation. Taiwan has developed a transportation system, make it easy to get around. Yeah. Language barrier is that the primary language of Taiwan is Mandarin Chinese, which is a challenge for non-native speakers, and air quality pollution is some areas of Taiwan, particularly urban areas. The Taiwan is disasters as typhoons and earthquakes, and the density of Taiwan can be a complex process. So that's for Taiwan. And if you want to know, well, another one we talked about, which was Japan. Here it is. Here's one for Japan. Okay, healthcare Japan's universal health care is far more affordable than U.S. health insurance plans. Safety. Safety is Japan is known as no low crime rate. Public transportation. Japan has public transportation to make it easier to get around a car. All right, and then cost of living. Well, States can be food high, and cost of living can be lower in the U.S. With regard to opportunities. Work-life balance. Japanese business culture is demanding of working long hours with strong emphasis in the workplace. Japanese culture is known as unique traditions which can be both fascinating and challenging for foreigners. Infrastructure. Japan has well-developed infrastructure with transportation and facilities. Alright, so that's for Japan. But what about... So the next country we're talking about is South Korea, right? So the next video is called, is South Korea a better country to live in the United States? Well... you see. So here, whether South Korea is a better country to live in the United States is subjective to individual priorities. But South Korea offers a strong healthcare system, high speed internet, and low crime rate. The U.S. has both a diverse culture, opportunities, and large landmass. So the healthcare. South Korea has a universal healthcare system, making healthcare accessible, affordable than the U.S. Technology and infrastructure. South Korea is known for its advanced technology infrastructure, including high-speed internet and efficient public transportation. Safety. South Korea is one of the lowest crime rates in the world, making it a safe place to live. Okay, so they don't have mass stabbings like in China or North Korea, and they don't have mass shootings like here in the U.S. I guess that's pretty good for South Korea. But the cost of living is some areas cost can be lower in the U.S., particularly in housing and public transportation and cleanliness. South Korea is known for cleanliness, but this is generally well maintained. Well, all right. But I want to talk about the pros of Japan, and then I'll get to South Korea after that. So pros for Japan is a known city crime rates, public transportation is a public transportation system, healthcare, overall comprehensive healthcare systems, cleanness, those cleanliness awareness, and then culture. Region culture is unique and strong sense of community, and nature's beautiful landscapes and seasons. Okay, now cons is work-life balance. It could be challenging due to long working hours, a strong working culture. Cost of living could be high, especially in major cities. Language barrier. Japanese language could be difficult for non-Japanese speakers, and housing is smaller than the U.S. As Japan is more prone to natural disasters such as earthquakes and typhoons. So that's for Japan. What about South Korea? So now, what about South Korea? So that's what we're talking about today. All right. So it says whether. So it says right here. Safety. South Korea is known for low crime rate and high levels of security. Public transportation. South Korea has well developed eventually Pacific transportation system. Healthcare. South Korea's universal healthcare system is making healthcare accessible, affordable. Internet access. South Korea has extremely fast, reliable internet access. Now, cost of living. So, expense of living, housing, and transportation can be affordable. Could be more for South Korea than the U.S. Now the cons. It's the air quality. The pollution can be conserved at South Korean cities. Work culture. The work Korean so could you be doing in long working hours. So they're just social connection. Some studies suggest that the connection to be slightly lower in South Korea compared to OECD average. Now, cultural differences. Adapting in South Korean culture can be challenging for foreigners, and differences in language, customs, and social norms. Well, because the language is Korean, that's why. Let's look at more in cons. Okay, let's see. Alright, so South Korea. Okay, so right here, it says pros and cons. So living in South Korea offers the pros like standard living in an excellent healthcare environment, such as safety environment, but the cons include challenging language barrier, and work culture, social pressure, and exposure graphic within the country. So pros. Safety is South Korea is consistently ranked one of the safest countries in the world and low crime rates. Now, high quality of life, excellent infrastructure, modern amenities, and strong economy due to high cost of standard of living. Now, healthcare system, affordable, accessible healthcare system with high quality and medical facilities. Vibrant culture, rich culture experiences, delicious food, K-pop music, and beautiful scenery. All right. I'm not interested in K-pop, but you know what? That's fine. Technological advancement. South Korea is leader of technology, offering cutting-edge gadgets, internet access, and convenience. Eventually, public transportation system is readily available, and delivery access and 24/7 accessibility in too many businesses. And friendly people, generally welcoming hospital towards foreigners. Now, cons. That's the language barrier. Korean language could be challenging for non-native speakers, potentially limiting integration. Intense work culture, long working hours, expectations can be the work-life imbalance. Social pressure, strong emphasis on conformity, such identity can be challenging for some experts. Now, limited geographic variety. Most of the country mountainous with a variety of small range landscapes to explore. Cost of living. Alright, so while it's not expensive in developing nations, major cities like Seoul can be costly. Air pollution can be concerned in certain areas, particularly during winter. Gender equality. Some social norms may reflect traditional gender roles. Alright, so that's the pros and cons for South Korea, but what about bringing Bibles? I already talked about why North Korea is a terrible country to live. Yes, but not, but at least you got pros and cons for South Korea too. Yeah, I know, and you know that North and South Korea are still in that terrible war, so. So, who's the president of South Korea? I don't have an answer because they change. There it is. Well, there's Yoon Yuk Sul. Okay, so Yoon Yuk Sul, what we saw, he's the president of South Korea since 2022. All right, and he's probably responding to, yeah, and if he's responding to threats against Kim Jong Un, which is the dictator of North Korea, and also against Xi Jinping, the dictator of China, I guess that would be fine. But so Yoon Yuk Sul is the president of South Korea. I just have to Google it to find out. Yeah. But yeah. But good thing you can learn stuff from Google. Now, what about bringing Bibles? Can you bring Bibles to South Korea? That's the end. That's the thing you need to learn about. Yes, you can bring Bibles to South Korea. There's a country constitution guarantees freedom of religion. There are no restrictions possessing of foreign religious texts. Here's more detailed explanation. So, freedom of religion. South Korea's constitution affairs freedom and religion of based beliefs. No restriction of religious text. There are no laws, regulations in South Korea that prohibit a physician to import Bibles and religious texts. Christianity in South Korea. Christianity is a significant religion in South Korea, existing a number of Christians. Now, COVID-19 restrictions are historical context. During the issues of COVID-19 pandemic, some restrictions are put in regarding in certain items like Bibles and hymn books in churches, but there were not a total ban. Individuals were permitted to bring their own personal copies. Now, misleading claims. Social media posts claimed a total ban Bibles in churches, but they were found to be misleading. North Korea versus South Korea. It is important to know that North Korea has strict restrictions on religious activities, and only a Bible can lead to severe consequences. Yeah, that's for North Korea. I know. A terrible country to live in, a country nobody wants to visit. And same, I know. I know people won't say that about China, even though China is also a terrible country to live and in a country, not a good country to visit either. You know. You know, China is still like North Korea, but bigger. But a lot bigger. That's what I'm trying to say is. Anyway. Oh yeah. Can you preach the gospel? There it is. Okay. So yes, South Korea's constitution guarantees a freedom of religion, including the ability to preach the gospel. The government really respects this right. Now, how more the explanation? Freedom of religion. The South Korean constitution states all citizens have freedom of religion and no discrimination of political, economic, social, cultural life on the basis of religion. Now, separation of churches and state. While the South Korean constitution guarantees freedom of religion, separation of church and state, the government has been submitted to Christianity. Now, freedom of expression. The law provides freedom of expression, including for members and press, other media, and government, generally respects this right. Now, Christianity in South Korea. Christianity making process presents in South Korea with a large number of Christians and churches. Missionary activity. South Korea has sending missionaries and other countries to preach the gospel. Examples of gospel preaching. There are many examples of churches and individual actively involved in preaching the gospel in South Korea, both in the country and missionary work abroad. Okay. Now the challenges and opportunities. While the gospel is preached freely in South Korea, there are also challenges, opportunities for Christian ministry. Now, mega churches. South Korea is home to the largest mega churches in the world, which are centered to Christian activity and influence. Now, new trends. There are also new trends in South Korean Christianity, such as the rise of cafe churches and focus on reaching younger generations. Okay. I don't know any Bibles. I don't know any Korean Bibles that are similar to the KJV. I don't know if it's so. If there is any, you might have to make some later on, or what is it? Or was it a North? Or is there a Korean KJV or something? I don't know. But you can let me know in the comments below. Well, here's one thing for the U.S. here. Can you bring the United States flag to South Korea? Let's find out. Okay, it says right here, yes, you can bring the United States flag to South Korea, but no restrictions on displaying it. Here's a more detailed explanation. No legal restrictions. South Korea doesn't have a law permitting to display possession of foreign flags, including the U.S. flag. South Korea, like most countries, have freedom of expression in displaying a foreign flag to be considered a form of this. Respect the South Korean flag. While you display the U.S. flag, it's important to respect the South Korean national flag, the Taegukgi. I don't know how to pronounce this because this is a Korean word anyway. And desecrate or any other flag. South Korean law regarding flag desecration. South Korea criminalizes that damaging, removing, and sending foreign flags with the sort of foreign country. Displaying the U.S. flag in South Korea. You can display the U.S. flag in South Korea, but be mindful of local customs, regulation regarding flag etiquettes. Display multiple flags. You can display multiple flags in the flagpole with the U.S. and display with respect for shining by other flags. So yes, you can bring it. Now, what about, can you bring the South Korean flag to the United States? Yes, you can absolutely bring the South Korean flag to the United States. No Pacific legislation preventing of display of foreign flags or restrictions. There are no rules of U.S. code of another flag, including South Korea display. You have freedom to display the South Korean flag, any flag or property event. No specific rules. U.S. code to focus on displaying the American flag, not the flags of other nations. So yeah, you could bring the South Korean flag to the U.S. But what does the South Korean flag look like? Oh, well. Yeah, here it is. Oh, South Korean flag. Yeah, here it is. So, here it is. So here's the flag. It's a white background with a Taeguk circle in the center. And some people think it's a shape of like, you know. And I know the Pepsi soda has this shape too, but I don't know the difference between the Pepsi and the South Korean flag, so. Plus, this can all be mistaken for the yin yang symbol, so I don't know. Well, I used to watch a show called Puka, which is on Jetix, but that show did take place, but that just shows a story, but that's just a show that takes place in South Korea. So, yeah, so yeah, but but I didn't care about it as much as Power Rangers. Power Rangers I like better than Puka. Anyway, Power Rangers is why I like watching the best. Anyway, yeah. Alright. If you want to look at. So, I want to talk about this. So, let's see. Here's what Taiwan. Oh yeah, here's a picture of what Taiwan looks like. So, and then I'll show you Japan and South Korea after, because I want to show you different ways. So that's for Taiwan, right? Yeah. Now for Japan. Yeah, just. Now and here's for South Korea. Yeah, you can see different kinds of buildings. A lot of world. Alright, let's see, which one is the... Oh yeah, what about the language of Korean? Well, Korean, I don't know. Well, I know that Korean has its own alphabet, and you know how to say hello in Korean. Well, Korean has its own alphabet. Let's take a look at it. Korean. Let's look at the Korean alphabet, because I don't know very much about it either. So Korean, the alphabet is known as Hangul, and there's 24 letters and 14 consonants and 10 vowels. All right, so that's just. So these are the letters of. So those are the letters. So that's the alphabet of. So that's the Korean alphabet. And what sound they make. So you can see that Korean has its own alphabet. You know, not as much work to learn as Chinese, but still that's people speak it. You know. And it's still way more Western than Japanese. So if you're gonna learn Korean, I think you're gonna be fine with learning the Korean alphabet, and it'll be fine anyway. Not that much work to learn, since Korean is not a total language like Mandarin, and it doesn't have a lot of alphabets like Japanese does, and it doesn't have the alphabet systems like Japanese does. So I think you'll be okay with that's why I know of. So that's why I know about Korean. But you know, yeah. So, what about hello everybody in Korean? I don't know that one because I don't know.
안녕하세요, 여러분.
Let me see. I can't even hear it.
안녕하세요, 여러분.
So it's 안녕하세요, 여러분. I'm probably not saying it correctly, but you know. But yeah, so that's how to say hello everybody in Korean. Okay. And now, what about all right, now what about goodbye?
안녕히 가세요.
Okay, 안녕히 got sail. So that's goodbye in Korean. Okay. I just don't know very much about that boat, right? I wasn't trying to learn Korean, but I was just trying to look at it from Google it, so. Alright, let's talk about, let's talk about how to get saved. The point any false religion is a damn souls to hell. So that's it. Anyways, that's how you got to get saved according to the Bible. It's the point of any false religion is a damn souls to hell. You can go to heaven and believe on Lord Jesus Christ. Salvation is by faith alone, grace unto Christ alone. No one saves it by easy beliefs into truth, meaning that you can't lose your salvation when you say ever and make easy beliefs in it. That salvation is easy. We do is believe in Jesus Christ for salvation. All right. So this is about South Korea, but now before that, I want to talk about this one. So does South Korea I'll be right back, guys. What is it, Mom? Purple? Okay. Okay, I'm back. I want to talk about that South Korea accept dual citizenship, because I didn't talk about that yet. Alright, so that's South Korea accept dual citizenship. The principle of South Korea does not allow dual citizenship, but there are exceptions in the agenda the country have understanding of study fields. Renouncing a foreign citizenship. So they don't really, like Taiwan, but or Japan really, yeah, but Here's what we did explanation. New rules. South Korea usually mandates which was a Korean citizenship, but must announce foreign citizenship within 1 year. Spouses of Korean nationals. Individual requires Korean citizenship through marriage, and South Korean national could be allowed for routine foreign citizenship. Okay, and then certificate of have significant contributions to the Republic of Korea in areas in culture, sports are over 65. They're retain their foreign citizenship, and they're to announcing individuals so difficult if it's difficulties running their foreign citizenship due to laws. The country will be allowed to retain it. So dual citizenship at birth. Child born in the dual citizenship as a child born in the U.S. and the South Korean parents may choose one nationality before a certain age, typically 22. Now, military service. For dual citizens, must be made being accepted military service as renunciation. We can see the citizenship of a light of U.S. dual citizens want to do so. Alright, so that's what I didn't talk about, but so clearly doesn't, but Yeah, I don't know. So if South Korea does not do citizenship, what does that mean for Koreans? I mean Americans. Sorry, Americans. Because I want to talk about this too. So, yes, Americans can become a South Korean citizen, but there's national requirements. The Korean region having culture criminal record. Okay, so that's national. Okay, so that's fine. So yeah, it was just the living in South Korea for 5 years, and it's okay. So and the age must be 20 years old, and no criminal clean record when both South Korea and abroad, and invisibility and institutional ability of your support yourself, non-cultural language, and cultural stuff. So you need to prove this interview. Okay, immigration of. Alright, and you must have previously held Korean nationality and no family ties to any Korean national. Okay, so that's. Alright, so South Korea, so dual citizenship, that's just what I talk about here. South Korea has previously had a law requiring citizens for nationality for becoming a Korean citizen, but that has been changed. According to laws 2010, South Korea allows citizenship to uncertain various fulfilled obligations, putting service for men, and completing activity full-time reserve, and submitting service and making oath and nationally within 2 years when services. Expectation is for expectations for men and those that have naturalized their seasons of military service. Alright, so that's for South Korea. Alright, so I'm just reading what it says in case you want to preach the gospel there, you know. I don't know any videos that try to get people to move, that try to get Americans to move there, but you know, my answer is this: if I want to pick an Asian country to live, I would choose Taiwan, not South Korea. I'm just you know, Googling it because just for you guys, you know. So to me, I would pick Taiwan. Is the Asian country I would live. I would live in if I want to live in Asia. But you know, I live in that's what I would do. But you know, I live in the United States anyway. Because I know I love the Taiwan. I know. Well, I like the Taiwanese culture. That's why. The same with the United States culture. Because I'm American. That's why. I'm not that interested of learning Korean, but you know, but it is a great language. It is a great language, and I do encourage some Christians to learn Korean so they can preach the gospel to Koreans here in the U.S. and then also preach the gospel to South Korea. Yes. Now as for well, yeah, I know because we can't do it in North Korea because it's terrible, but well, well. It's a terrible country to live, that's why. North Korea is, that's what I say is. But South Korea, well, I don't know. It is, well, it's, but South Korea is a free country, so. So I'm just reading what it says. But you know, alright, so let's go back on Japan again because Yeah, right. It says now for Japan, because I already talked about that Japan last time. It says right here, yes, Americans living in Japan can become Japanese citizens, though naturalization requires special requirements, including existence of nationalities of disability. All right, so again, you must be 20 years of age, maintain good conduct, vacations, and no political events against the Japanese government, and while a good idea of knowledge of Japanese language and beneficial. All right, so that's for. All right, now what about Taiwan? Because I didn't talk. I don't know if I talked about. Yeah, I did talk about Taiwan, but here. So here it is. Yes, Americans can have a Taiwan. In Taiwan can apply a Taiwanese citizenship, but typical need of a sense of do your citizenship do so. Residency requirement. Must legalize in Taiwan at least 5 years, custody of 3 years, marry a Taiwanese citizen. A language proficiency, you need to demonstrate a basic level of Mandarin Chinese language ability. So, that's nationality. Yeah, U.S. citizenship and become a Taiwanese citizen. And it's the reserve good to Taiwanese study and dual nationality. While the United States will allow dual nationality, Taiwan currently requires both and announced the original intent to become a citizen of Taiwan. And we're gonna say the Taiwan and visiting a house organization. Okay, so that's for Taiwan. You know, I want to look at both of them, but you know, this video is for South Korea. So. Alright, so that's my answer about South Korea. To me, I would better live in Taiwan if I was living in Asia, but, you know, that's my answer about that, but, you know, I live in the U.S., so, because that's where if you want to look at Google Earth, so here's South Korea right here. It's between Japan and China. And here's Taiwan right here. And yeah, it is true that South Korea does border North Korea. So alright, so that's it. Anyway, since I talk about this, my next video is about what is it possible about getting a job. Well, I guess I can talk about that next video. Yeah. I'll talk about that next video. Because I have to go right now. But thank you for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed. Say goodbye. Adios and Zaijian. Alright guys, I'm back because I forgot to show you something, alright? Before I go. So let's look at Freedom House. And you can take a look at South Korea. Yeah, for South Korea it's 83 out of 100, just like the US. See? That's for 2022, right? Well, yeah, okay, here it is in 2025. Okay. They're 81 out of 100 for global freedom. That's for South Korea. All right, now alright, so that's what I want to show you anyway. But I have to go right now. I'll talk about jobs next video, so goodbye, guys. Okay, guys. So there's something there's something else I forgot to tell you about South Korea. Okay? The low birth rate. So before that, we can go to Freedom House. So yeah, so North Korea's up to 3 out of 100, and then South Korea's up to 83 out of 100. So that's the difference between the two. But I'm looking for some low birth rate here. So I learned that South Korea has the lowest birth rate in the world. That's what I heard, yeah. Well, how many people are gonna be left in the so alright, some people will live in South Korea in 2100? Well, you see. It's not telling me. Oh, there is. So it will go down to 17 million in the year 2100. Okay, see? 2185, 21.85 million people by the year 2100. That's what it says. And if you also look at the population pyramid right here, and let's take a look for here's for North Korea, if you want to see. North Korea will be up to 25 million left. And then for South Korea, we're 6.8 million. There are 17 million people left. So here's for North Korea. Yeah. About 20 million people left. Yeah. And then here's for South. $21 million people left. So it's kind of basically about the same. Or yeah, 22 million people left. Okay. So it's basically almost the same, but not quite. You know, so I'm glad that the population in North Korea is declining, but but the same thing is happening in South Korea too. And we need to do is, and this is something people are gonna have left in South Korea. So what we have to do to change this? Well, we need to preach the gospel to the people in South Korea. That's what we need to do, really. And get them to believe on the Lord Jesus Christ so that they can grow in grace, that they would want to have children. But it's up to them anyway. And that's what I believe anyway. I just forgot to talk about this because, because I didn't do it yet. That's why. Anyway, so that's what I forgot to talk about anyway. I'll talk about getting a job next video because I have to go right now. But thank you for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed. Say goodbye. And adios and Zaijian. And goodbye, guys.